Welcome back then to the National Hockey Centre here in Glasgow as we move into the National Plate Final, the Scottish Plate Final, the penultimate game of the day of the weekend in these cup finals, as we focus on Glasgow University up against Kelburne. Two sides which Glasgow University look to stay in National League 1, and they did so. Kelburne at the top end of National League 2 after being previously in the top flight, and in this plate competition after going out early in the cup, but now looking for silverware to finish off their seasons respectively. So handshakes going round. GHK player, former Scotland player Susan McGilvery, alongside myself, Callum Patterson, for this plate game. And say two sides in terms of the table not that far apart, despite the division apart, so hopefully it should be quite a entertaining close game.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's going to be quite a tight game. It'll be interesting to see how both teams start. Obviously Kelburne are a pretty young side, and GU is entirely made up of students, so will be a lot more experienced, but I think the youthful side with a few seasoned players in there from the Kelburne girls will be making it an interesting game.
Well, you talk about the youth in both sides, really. Can you pick out perhaps a player or two, a key player from each team?
Yeah, I think probably in terms of the GU team, Connie Lath, number 2, she's actually been involved with the Super Series competition, which was November just last year, and I think she's been a fantastic player for Glasgow Uni so far this season.
And Kelburne, as you mentioned, a lot of young players in there too, but one or two old hands in there to keep them right.
Yeah, I was just having a wee look at the starting team there. Again, I've not seen the Kelburne players play in a wee while, but Drew Berry, number 12, was certainly a great prospect for them coming through the ranks a few years ago, and they've got a few experienced players at the back as well. Catherine McLaughlin, number 24, she'll always put in a solid shift for Kelburne, and Frankie Strain, who I think actually is their captain now. She's another strong, just that sort of wise, experienced head in there that'll keep those other girls right.
So Glasgow in the predominant black kit, and forward making the run. This near side is Laura McCabe. Really dart forward. Umpires for this one are Anna Watson and Carly Edward. Twist from captain Laura Murray. One or two interesting looks at the umpire, but it's given to Kelburne.
I think in the early stages, obviously we've only got a minute or so played, but I think Kelburne are going to have to quite quickly get up to the pace of the game that Glasgow Uni are now experienced and used to playing, being in National 1. You said there's only a couple of places difference, and that's true, but there is a definite step up in terms of the general pace that games are played at, which Kelburne are just getting into now.
Kira McGinty on that far side, driving forward. Umpires having a chat about what way it's going. It is going to go to Kelburne.
I think they're saying it's away back at the start, so it's now coming back much further closer to the halfway line. It was just a bit of a stramash in the middle of the park, so a bit of a wait to get it back where Anna wants it.
Flies towards Berry, who is there. It is just outside the D for free hit.
They're probably going to want to bring this back out yet, although she's not moved that 5 metres, so it's not what she wanted.
Well, something we talked about yesterday in the men's games, with particularly the cup final last year or two. It's been a bit of a change in the guard and change in the times with Kelburne men, and seems like the women's team has went through that kind of process too. They kind of dropped out of the top flight and to regather themselves with the next generation youth players coming through at the sharp end of National League 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's quite a cyclical thing in terms of Kelburne have a few seasoned players still in their team, but it is a very, very young team, and it's really exciting for the future, and I'm sure they'll be making their way up. Each season they'll be pushing to get back into the league, but it's just the way it goes. There's so many opportunities now for girls when they finish school to go off and play in other leagues, even in other cities. There's loads of great opportunities even as close by as Edinburgh. And I think it's a real challenge for these teams with such fantastic youth setups to be able to keep the players that they've developed as those girls go through university and start their working lives.
Kelburne looking to drive forward down that far side. Going to try, done that once or twice, tried to get forward, but turnover. And it is, well, very briefly Grant, but couldn't get the control she wanted. Not quite sticking for either side yet, too many of these passes.
I think they're doing really well to transfer the ball, especially Kelburne, you saw just a second ago, but the problem with that is that the rest of the team are still over on that other far right hand side away from us, so they just need to be a bit quicker to get that support across to the opposite side when they do so well to transfer. And Drew's not happy with that one.
Darwin Poole looking up, coming back through to Jessie Cuthbertson. Bliss making the defensive run back. McCabe towards the edge of the D. There was Glover. Well, looking to perhaps get back, just running away the ball.
I mean, it's easy said than done, but I think as the game progresses, GU might want to get a bit more height in the game there. They won the ball just over the halfway line and they had no one in the attacking 25, so it's obviously the start of the game, but I'm sure you'll see GU starting to create a bit more height. Their coach Wendy will be demanding a bit more aggression as they go forward, winning the ball in their own half and getting support ahead of the ball as quick as they can.
Busy morning for the coach Wendy Justice, winning the first competition this morning, the district plate final for Clydesdale Western Fours, and into a more traditional role these days as the coach here.
Absolutely, that's classic Wendy. She's a standard day for her is some form of junior hockey in the morning, her own game later on, and then coaching these girls who she's done a fantastic job with. GU first season in National 1, and they've quite rightly survived for next season, and now they're playing in a chance for some silverware.
Bryce now thought it's went through the goalkeeper, not perhaps what the keeper wanted there, Emily Irving, but there is the opening chance, big chance, and it's went to Glasgow University.
Yeah. That's such a shame for Emily. She's an absolutely fantastic young goalkeeper with a great future ahead of her, but obviously that's a mistake, and she'll hopefully be able to put that one to bed straight away because she's got plenty more to offer in this game.
Georgia Coyle making a good run down that side from the pass, but just running away the ball. About 7 minutes to the goal there from Bryce. Glasgow Uni in front. Bliss looking for a bit of support.
Yeah, they've got a long corner out of that. There's quite a lot of these bouncing balls going through, and just the first, person doesn't quite make the trap, and it just leads to another opportunity. So Kelburne have got themselves a long corner here, but they can be quite difficult to gain advantage from these long corners now with the rule that you can't hit straight in. So they haven't managed to get anything out of it that time.
Glover here for Bryce once more. Sport by Ida McCabe. Just going to drag away. Murray looking to thread through. The captain, nice idea. One of the scorers in that promotion relegation playoff here 3 weeks ago.
So Catherine likes looking, number 24 there for Kelburne, the fullback, likes looking for the sort of balls through the channels, but again Kelburne are sitting so deep that it's not really an option for her at the moment, so they'll want to create some width and height so that Catherine can start threading some of these balls through.
As mentioned, they did stay up and nationally won Glasgow University in that game against ESM, but first hand losing about the semi-final that late. Carly Bissett will last 20 seconds or so. That was great for you, but what a heartbreaking way to lose a game. But they managed to get the job done in the final.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously we were delighted, and I think on balance, perhaps it was a deserved, result. We deserved to stay in the league. But as did Glasgow Uni, and we were delighted that they did then do the job against ESM the next opportunity.
Georgia Coyle making a good run. Penalty corner coming in off Bex Jones, so a chance perhaps to reply here.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that, but she's not going to make many mistakes, so hopefully they don't pay for this one.
So first player to corner then. $11 minutes played. That's falling for Bliss, but well, one way not to get the chance, one way to give it back straight away, and that's not the best way to do the penalty corner.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what went on there. I think Catherine managed to foul in some way, but obviously Anna's seen something and has turned the corner over, and unfortunately Kelburne couldn't make that great work down the right hand side work, but they're off again and hoping to do the same.
In towards the D they go. Cleared to safety for now. Georgia Coyle trying to get herself by Sophie Aitchison. It's well kept in there, only comes though to Murray. Aitchison trying to get the out ball, but back it will swing in from Bliss. Go back to the 23 line and for the long corner, but keeping the pressure of the ball down there. It's been a decent response from Kelburne this since going behind.
Absolutely, it's they're definitely starting to get into the game and finding a bit of joy down this right hand side, but the style of play that GU have adopted successfully for the whole season has been to really kind of smother the space. They almost commit 2 or even sometimes 3 players to the ball, obviously at the sacrifice of man-to-man marking, but if the ball is never going to get to those people, then that works for them, and it's worked again, and now they're attacking the opposite 25.
Or going the long way round.
There's one of those balls from Catherine McLaughlin. As soon as they've got a bit of height, she can get these balls through because it just stretches the game that bit more.
Megan Ralph didn't quite collect. Certainly a nice idea. McCabe trying to keep hold up there was Corey Grant. Now coming with times, Jamieson. Here's swipe, but play on. Doesn't come to anything though for the side in front.
Yeah, it was good defending down the left-hand side there, or Kelburne's defensive left-hand side. The girl, she's not actually got a number on the back of her shirt, but she did really well to keep the player and the pass that she was making, keep that going wide, and then Catherine McLaughlin can just step across and make the interception. So that's good defending from Kelburne. They obviously, you know, they know what they're doing as a team defensively.
Robertson.
No.
Didn't get a touch through there. Leith was the one nearest, but didn't touch that. To excited people in the crowd.
On the sideline as well.
Other side is Aitchison. Into the sideboard of the goal it goes.
Move it, come on.
Jamieson. You're trying to take control again here. Robertson tried to help it on its way in. Bit of a mess, and it's Kelburne's ball. Well, I thought Ogunda was going to give that away, but came through for Jamieson.
Yeah, I think it was against the grain, or it kind of surprised everyone. They thought she was going to continue to keep the ball coming towards this right-hand side for GU, but she actually slung it slightly more back left where it had come from. So again, they've got a hit out and they've got everyone within their own half. And I think with Catherine's skill set, you want to be trying to thread some of these passes in behind the GU defence, just relieve some of that pressure, and create some more of these great chances that they've had up in that final third for themselves, Kelburne.
Section of pace trying to build forward, but back here is Bex Jones. Up towards Bryce. Bryce carrying on. Kroll. Penalty corner signalled.
They've got the corner, but I mean, technically GU did get the advantage. They were in the act of shooting while the whistle went, so I suppose get another corner.
So it is Jones with the injection here. Comes back towards Jones, but it will go back to the long corner zone.
Yeah, I don't think that entirely went to plan, but sometimes it doesn't, and it was close enough to forcing Emily in the goal to have to make a save. But Kelburne again have defended well and cleared their lines, and GU are going to start trying to take things a bit more quickly to stop them being able to set up.
Bruce was trying to find Coyle, might come back down Coyle's direction. There's Georgia Coyle.
Good skills there by the youngster.
Shows again at this time, side in black, getting possession only briefly.
It's obviously a big occasion, but I think as the game goes on, especially the Kelburne, the younger players, their touch, their pickups might start to sharpen up a bit just as they relax into the game a little bit. There's been a few balls coming through and it's just been mistrapped, and I think ordinarily those girls wouldn't maybe miss those traps.
Murray forward here for Kroll. Support left and right, just a fraction too long. Back might come with Murray in for the uni. Robertson. Bryce. To be dodged out there by Bryony Coyle.
So you can see why it's so difficult to actually gain advantage out of these long corner situations, because every player bar one is in Kelburne's defensive 25. So GU might start to look to bring the ball back out and transition to the other side, or somehow run over the ball to get an extra player into that attack. But
Stringer went wide. Bryce trying to help out on the edge of the D, but all a bit tight there. You see, even after the next phase of play, still so many in there defensively. Murray found Robertson. Direct. That cleared.
Kelburne could maybe push up here and try and keep this ball in the attacking half. Well, they've managed to force the turnover. That's option B.
It was a bit of a surprise, well, a bit of a shock in the way they went out the cup. Glasgow Union lost to Grove, perhaps expected, but they lost Kelburne to Clydesdale Western threes, and they actually got through to the final of this competition by beating the twos team. That is going to take a bit of a freaky flick. Almost came to something, but away they'll clear for Glasgow Uni.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Drew was planning to do, but the line of the ball was good, and as you say, it nearly came to something. It's Kerry trying to make headway up the left-hand side here.
King goes backwards. Campbell forward. Perhaps the pass there. Here's Hendry. Gonda closing the space down. Just dribble it by, and well, it's perhaps, I don't know, take it first time maybe.
No, she did really well, the girl. The pick up at the top of the D, the post up and pick up was great, and then she did really well to thread Holly Hendry through, and Holly was just doing so well to try and she's trying to just make a good decision, and just, she's just thinking in her head, don't panic, don't rush, and then it just obviously doesn't quite come off for her. But if she did that again, all of that, and then just manages to turn quickly, spin on the ball, she'd probably find a much more positive outcome. But again, she's a young player who's going to learn a lot from being in this game, in this competition. A big finals day.
Some pelt in that, but Murray tried to keep it in her grasp, not coming through, although that falls for Jones. To try and deal with it, it's McLaughlin.
Taste of her own medicine. Normally it's Jones being a magnet for that ball in the fullback, but today it's Catherine just foiling her.
Yeah, and Hendry was looking for this ball in the middle's bliss. Hendry this time looking to try and keep it on a path. Some support alongside. She'll take the free hit though at the side for her team.
Yep, she's won a positive outcome, and that's all that her team can ask of her in that situation.
McGinty.
See here, GU have got 2-3 players, you know, in and around the ball. Oops.
Oh, by a bit of luck, they keep it down there to the side in yellow. Campbell goes a bit more direct. Cara Bruce.
Nice skills. Drew's a very skillful player.
Drew Berry trying to just use that baseline, but just again just run out of space.
Yeah, Drew's very skillful on the ball, and I think she'll be disappointed with herself there that she couldn't win a foot or get turned for a shot on goal.
Here's Glover though at the other end, just soaked, trying to keep it there. Leith too. Very quickly up the other end. Now trouble for Kelburne defensively as the Uni now back in the attack.
Yeah, Laura Murray on the ball now. I mentioned Connie Leith at the start of the game, but I'd say Laura Murray's she's their captain as well, but she's the other key player, I would say, for Glasgow Uni, and the more and more she builds into this game, the more and more danger Kelburne are going to be under through the middle of the park.
Twisting the turn from Bliss, but there was Jones. Murray. McCabe. 9 minutes left of this first half. The goal from Bryce for Glasgow University. And while the kind of nature of the bottom sides that play in the playoffs for relegation, there's a few of them involved. It should be noted some of the performances they've had, particularly in the second half of the season. They drew against Clydesdale Western as well, and they are a hard team to break down usually, particularly with a chance of a victory of the lead.
Yeah, absolutely, and as I said before, that's the style of play that GU have decided to adopt, and it actually suits them quite well when they play against the top teams because they sit so defensively. They sit in a half court and they just kind of...
Bryce here though, that's a lovely ball through here, and that is a nonchalant second Heather Kroll, and pockets were picked off there and the two of them combined superbly.
Yeah, that's difficult for Emily in the goal because she's left 2-on-1 and she, has to make a decision. She decides to try and cover the shot, or sorry, to cover the pass more with her feet, and just doesn't quite manage to get the block with her stick. But I don't think she can have too many regrets in her decision making there.
Kelburne were feeling really disappointed. 1-0, they can stick around even at 1-0 at half time. Now all of a sudden they're 2 down.
Yeah, I definitely think though that there's plenty of goals in the game if Kelburne just keep plugging away. They've had opportunities, they've had a short corner as well, so sometimes as well, once you go a couple of goals down, you've got nothing to lose and you just relax and play, which is maybe again going to play into the hands of this young team.
Quick there, McCabe. And to get there, Jameson. McCabe still around. Coughlin trying to clear. Jameson. Aitchison. Murray. Murray needed someone there. The only one closer was a crawl.
Yeah, she did really well to get a shot away there, Murray. She's skirting around the D with 3 or 4 players around her, and she still managed to get a shot near enough on target from a pretty difficult angle, so well played.
McCabe off the foot of Bryce.
That's a nice bit of outlet and play. They've just bypassed all bar 4 of GU's team with 2 passes there, and that's what they're looking to do. So it can become quite scrappy and congested otherwise.
Brian Coyle. Cuthbert's in. Stays with Kelburne.
Darcy, you good? Darcy, you good?
Jones is there, still going to stay. Kelburne on the attack, just on the edge of the D.
Move back, come on!
Yeah, she needs to get 5. It's so difficult to get a yard in these situations, but Kelburne are going to keep trying to.
Brian Coyle trying to thread in for Bliss. Rimple will send it the other side of the field.
Right in, when you can! Rebecca, let Bridie know and then you'll be changing with her. Bridie, stay up. Fine, Jessie, go, come on!
Cuthbert's in. 1 or 2 passes on. Cuthbert's in. Edges it forward.
Oops.
Slip there as Aitchison has a bit more time now to clear. Murray. Now the drive. Dalrymple. Free hit, Dalrymple. Robertson as Kelburne still tracking back. Oh, and it's taken a flick and well saved through the legs. Jameson's flick, and there was Irving to make the stop.
Yeah, should have seen that at the last minute, and here comes
Murray.
Murray again.
It's a penalty corner and a hit in the face.
Rebecca, I'm right.
He went through McGinty's legs and well met.
Yeah, hopefully that gives Emily a little bit of confidence, because it's difficult as a goalkeeper losing 2 goals quite early in the game, but she's definitely done a favour for her team there.
She's run off. Just a little bit of that magic stuff they call ice. So that or the magic sponge, one of the
I
two.
was going to say, you have a magic sponge in football, but hockey players are nails. We just need some ice. She'll be back on.
Brain freeze though in the head. Bex Jones then. Third goal will be really crippling for Kelburne at the end of this first half. Almost get it there from Robertson, but met, and there is another penalty corner though to deal with.
Yeah, there's nothing either player can do about that. Emily has to make the save, which she does very well. Keeps it low, and the girl, it's Kerry, no it's not, it's Frankie, has no time to react, so another corner. They've gone short out to the L1 slip.
Aitchison back to Jones in. On the line there was Jameson. Back to 23, and quickly there's Dalrymple. Bodies everywhere. Slipped through by Bryce. Cave was on the receiving end of it. Still around for Robertson on the edge of the D.
Just can't get this ball out, but yeah, GU have sort of put the ball off the back line, so that's the end of that one. But Kelburne are going to want to clear their lines a wee bit more firmly, because they're just inviting wave after wave, and GU are taking free hits and things really quickly as well. So
Jones again scooping up the ball back. Just getting away with that there, Robertson. Could lead to next move, but back was Catherine McLaughlin.
One more, Jenna. Jenna, confidence to play the distribution.
Here's McCabe. Secondary flick from Grant. Turnover. Remember, conversation for today and for this weekend has been hashtag Scottish Cup. So, you know, want to join the chat on social media, that is the hashtag.
Kelburne are going to try and get a last bit of headway up this right-hand side, but unfortunately again just hitting a wee foot, and GU have taken it quickly, and all of a sudden they're defending again.
Grant pushed out wide. However, it doesn't really matter. She skips by, but Glover is looking all roads for the ball. Eyes behind the head and all that.
So GU have a full press on just now, and yet Kelburne have still kept sort of 4 at the back. I mean, even it looks sort of like 5 at the back. I think against GU, if they're doing a full press, Kelburne might want to step an extra player through just to give them an extra option to pass to.
That's a half-time hooter, and Glasgow University with the advantage here in this plate final. Couple of goals, Bryce with the early goal in the 7th minute, and then Heather Kroll around about 8 minutes from half-time adding to that. So comfortable at the moment. Kelburne's just been hanging on a little bit as the first half came to an end, but there is confirmation to score, and we'll look over both goals, but Glasgow Uni very much deservedly in front.
Yeah, I would say on balance it's probably fair that Glasgow Uni are a couple of goals up, being more used to the pace of play that they're setting. Kelburne have taken a bit of time to just try and get used to that. And then, you know, obviously the first goal kind of came from that, just obviously a mistake from Emily eventually, but the build-up play to that has to be looked at as well, and I think Kelburne were just a couple of metres too far behind their players all over, which led to the scorer getting an easy shot. And obviously Emily would love to have done better, but everyone makes mistakes and she'll learn from that. And then the second goal again, it just looks like they're, you know, just that little bit sharper, just a little bit faster to the ball, and we're able to get that little dink through. And again, Emily isn't at fault at all here, because she's left with a 2v1 against her, with both of the defenders still behind the ball. And she just sort of picked the wrong option in the end, but how are you to know? And GU go 2 up.
So that is how things are at the moment. We're back very shortly for the second half, but at the break, Glasgow University 2, Kelburne 0.
got the masks. You change it.
Like, if I was to run on and get the waterfall, well, if I can do that, I'll do it against that. If I'm not in the corner and then get told, oh, you're not allowed to pitch. And it doesn't make a difference apparently to the nuts back there.
Second team's back on for the second half. Our World Scottish Plate final. Let's give it up for Glasgow University and Kelburne.
My question is, the rule is you don't start the game. No, he started that early, but it was 20 seconds and they went out.
Kelburne, come on, energy, intensity, let's go.
So welcome back then for the second period of the Scottish Plate Finals. Glasgow University 2-up against Kelburne here. Kelburne needing to make a quick response. And what do you think the chat might have been at half-time, Susan?
Well, for Kelburne, I think it's just settling them, because a group of young girls might have their heads down a wee bit. So just encouraging them to come out and play their hockey and enjoy the occasion. And I think, well, I'd like to see them, go for it this second half. And they've played a season in National 2 where they're going to be used to scoring a lot of goals. They're going to be used to attacking a lot, and I think they've definitely got that in them. So just trying to encourage them to get themselves into this final third, attacking a bit more often and get a few more positive outcomes from it.
It's a third match today here on this pitch. All started at 10 AM this morning when many of you might have been sleeping. District Plate final, Clydesdale Western Force beating Glasgow Accies by a couple of goals to nil, and Orkney defeating Ellen 10 goals to 1 in the District Cup final. Flick there from Jameson wide. Jameson looking to try and get it back. There's McLaughlin to get it clear.
Yeah, again, I wonder if the coaches for Kelburne would have made comment about, Catherine McLaughlin is putting passes on a plate for her team, and a lot of them aren't being picked up. So I would imagine if the coach didn't say it, then she might have made a wee comment about, can we, just pick these balls up, and it just means that we can do the next thing. Once we have the ball under control, we can do the next part. And I would imagine for GU, Wendell have just been encouraging those girls to keep playing at the high intensity that they have been, because we've seen that Kelburne have maybe sometimes struggled with that. They'll want to put this game to bed, and they'll want to get that next goal just as badly as Kelburne will.
Lovely down by Dalrymple to get it back for her side. It's a free hit. Challenge coming in, Cuthbertson tried to get it away, but back came McCabe. Connie Grant.
Yeah, see, there's another one of those balls from Catherine McLaughlin, trying to thread it through, get it in behind that GU defence, and they've managed to get themselves a sideline here, but it's still a 4v2 because Kelburne haven't worked to get more support to the ball up there, so they're a bit isolated in their attack.
Kelburne winners of this plate back in 2016. Winners against Dundee University, but a long way back. Haven't had too many chances and given away there by Berry. Space and time for Leith. Perhaps been a bit quieter than usual.
Kelburne not happy with that tackle, but she did she wasn't really aware of the pressure coming in. She wasn't sure what she was going to do with the ball, and I think if Kelburne are able to make slightly quicker decisions, that might start to put GU under a bit of pressure and see what comes of that.
Yeah, Carly Edward, the umpire, had a chat with the Glasgow player.
Yeah, Kelburne have a lot of players on the ball side here, which is a good thing. I think they've maybe spoken about that at half time, because that wasn't the case early in the game.
Flick to Kroll. Good recovery from McLaughlin. But Murray now trying to go direct through the middle. Glover down the channel. Oh, rather tight down there. Robertson trying to keep it alive. Here's Jones.
Good pressure, trying to prevent the transition, but it looks like GU are going to... Oh no.
Oh, almost sneaking in there was Georgia Coyle.
Yeah, good read, and I think that's maybe what Kelburne are going to have to try and start doing, is just jumping on that transition. Don't give GU that amount of time, because I know that defenders like time, and if we don't have time, we panic.
Oh, Bryce took that off McLaughlin. Kelburne player recovered. Murray diverts in, chance for Glover perhaps. Sounded out though.
Lovely thread through, just a wee bit too far though. Just need a few of these passes to start linking together.
Kroll, battling past Briney. Coyle, but just out of space the attacker had.
Yeah, she doesn't realise the ball was already off before she put it across.
Aitchison weaving.
Yeah, Sophie Aitchison was actually in the Super League set-up as well back in November, and I think she might have played for the Dundee team, although I can't actually remember. But a great opportunity for a few of the club level players to get a sort of taste of an international standard tournament with the senior players playing as well. It was a great event, and hopefully they'll do it again.
Briney Coyle trying to make the run. And a severe creep of the whistle. Kelburne just needing this bit of time down the other end to try and attack. Been a rare thing.
Yeah, they've not had too many attacks, but Francis again will try and make something happen down here, and you can tell that GU are still nervous about the threat of Kelburne. There's a lot of chat going on in there, making sure that players are covered, and you can hear their coach again helping to set things up as well. Wendy's getting quite vocal on the sideline.
They're trying to work their way into the circle there. Holly Hendry, who had one or two little bright moments, but up the other side, come the Uni, not the pass though. Kroll, Bryce is in the middle.
It's almost a carbon copy of the second goal, coming through in an attempt to thread that ball back inside in the opposite direction this time, but Catherine got a touch on it.
Here's Stringer. Off the attacker's foot.
Let's go.
So it's quite good from Kelburne in a sense that they're really squeezing the space that GU have got to work in. There's a lot of players over on that side, but obviously GU with their experience will be trying to get the ball out of that situation and spread Kelburne back across the pitch again.
Stringer. And to watch Georgia Coyle going down to the other side of that back line. Almost gave it to Strain, but far down that side. Murray looking to find that right pass.
I just don't want to start rushing. We've got plenty of time.
Aitchison here for Kroll. Coming into McLaughlin to clear. Aitchison.
Good pressure there.
Helping McCabe, and Ford will try and come Cuthbert's in initially. Long trace, which is not going to be won by Megan Ralph.
So I'd like to see Kelburne really step up here and try and keep this ball up. Try and keep it. And then intercept. I suppose that's what they've just done, yeah, cool. Heard me.
Morgan, come on, Morgan! Morgan, come on, get it work! Morgan, get it back!
Jones run made by Murray. Aitchison. Might fall again for Murray here from McLaughlin. Oh, and it's a bit messy in there, but wide it burrows Corey Grant.
Yeah, again, Kelburne do well in defence there. My first instinct was that actually this clearance by the defender then comes up high off the GU attacker, number 4. So, but again, it's very easy to see these things, and with the benefit of video replay as well. But probably a fair outcome from that attack from GU, that it just went off the back line.
Kerry on this line. Kerry, let's go. Kerry, swap with Morgan when you can.
Battling through again, Kelburne, but need to start making a clear chance or two, and in fact it's not even their ball. It's been given to Georgia Coyle, who was very quick to get started, rolled wide there, Grant, and that's going to be a penalty corner there, or Rimple I should say rather, it was onto Grant, and then the foot came in, and there is perhaps a chance to maybe clinch things if we can get this right.
Yeah, a couple of Kelburne players just a bit planted in their tackle as they kind of start to cross over the 25, and it just creates a domino effect, and Catherine McLaughlin had no option but to just step across and get in the way essentially.
Ready to go? 2 minutes, okay? Get warmed up. Get warmed up.
Bex Jones to inject, 20 minutes just over left on the clock. Time Aitchison, it's still going to be around, driven towards goal. Jones is waiting and just dribbles by. There'll be another penalty corner, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think their first one went exactly to plan, so I think they'll be glad of a retake here, and a clear foot there, which the umpire Anna didn't think there was much advantage coming from, just given the number of players that were in and around the goal line. But I think this girl's just checking if her toe is now rattling around inside her shoe.
I remember the cup finals on Edinburgh University are just kind of coming behind us and getting ready to get warmed up shortly up against Dundee Wanderers. I think it's the Scottish Cup at 4 o'clock, but still time left in this one. But Glasgow could be trying to put this to bed. Trap for Murray, it's saved by the goalkeeper. It's another penalty corner.
I'd be interested to see if these are actually coming out of the D.
Something was a talking point yesterday in the men's. There was one or two that didn't look like it.
I'm getting my binoculars out. It's hard to tell. Borderline, but good from the GU girls. You don't want to let it come too far out, because that just gives...
This time, Dalrymple. Whoa!
No.
It's too high.
Definitely too high, and good job from Catherine to get that taken quickly, but I don't understand why they've brought that back. That's obviously something's happened, but I think they're changing the goalie. That's really unfortunate. They really good early restart from Kelburne. GU were on the scramble back, but obviously they'd already informed the officials that they wanted to change their goalkeeper, so that gets done at the next sort of break in play, which is at the end of that corner.
Yeah, so coming on now is Rhiann Smith. Now will there be a bit of early work for the change of keeper? McLaughlin did well. McLaughlin said he did a lot of that, her and the Cuthbertson.
Great job.
Yeah, Catherine did well again there, and obviously Emily going off, so she's going to be in action straight away.
Leith has stolen this though. Well, not quite big enough. Jameson.
Come on, let's go. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Georgia.
You're not allowed to do that.
Stretch Armstrong not quite working on that occasion.
Let's go. Lucy, let's go. Georgia, let's go.
Good, well worked out. That's tough in there because you can hear the GU coach shouting squeeze. So as soon as the ball goes into that pocket, they're trying to just put a lot of pressure on and steal it just before the 25. But Kelburne did well, and I think they need a bit more width here if they're wanting to go round to get it to give this girl more time, because number 16 from GU was about to be right on top of her, Corey Grant. And they've got the ball back.
Strain put it down initially to get it back here for Kelburne. McLaughlin tried to get forward. It is there. Free hit. Well taken here by Hendry. It's Amber Hendry, the one with 63. Heard a little bit of Holly Hendry, but unfortunately for Kelburne, didn't last long, that move.
Yeah, again, it's just that final pickup. Catherine will thread a needle with her passing, and these girls just need to focus on getting that ball secured. And then I have no doubt that they've got the skills to carry out the next bit.
Come on, Kelburne, let's fix this. Carol, let's go.
Kenny, help her out.
Let's move this ball, let's move it.
Strain.
Good.
Bliss.
This is a good opportunity for Kelburne now.
Holly Hendry. One to these moments on that side in the first half, going down that left channel. Here comes Ellie Glover. No one in black nearby.
Kerry McGinnity trying to just get that ball out. She's done well to win a foul there. I think she was maybe a wee bit fortunate, but again, just that final pickup not quite coming off for Kelburne when the ball's threaded through, but they're squeezing in here to try and keep it in a attacking area, which is good. They're digging in and they're trying to get into that attacking D. Drew and her skills again. That's tough.
Advantage as they wriggle away. Does string out now.
That one was a bit more clear cut.
Bryce still going here. Bryce support to the left. And Crawl. Bryce is going to try and carry on.
Eventually Kelburne get the ball, but I think it was it's obviously difficult because everything's happening so quickly, and if it's a bit of a sort of scramble of players in there, but there was a clear GU foot in there, and if it had led to a positive outcome for them, then I don't think Kelburne would have been very happy.
Glasgow Union lost in the plate final in 2017. Lost 4-0 to Cala. So a couple of years on, we're well under 15 minutes away from claiming this plate now. And they have looked fairly comfortable so far in this second half, particularly since going 2-0 up. And now perhaps looking to add to this. Glover was in the centre, back it on goal to the long corner point.
Yeah, they're just continuing to turn the screw a wee bit and just maybe out-muscling certain players. But that's a fantastic intercept from one of the more experienced Kelburne players, and they'll look to, they just want to relax here, they just want to build it up. That's really good from Frankie, just getting her stick on the ball and taking a moment to choose her pass. Easier said than done when you're 2-0 down with 13 minutes to go in a final.
can redistribute. Rebecca.
Haven't seen Darcy Campbell come back on since her foot got hurt at that short corner, so that's another loss for Kelburne, because she had made a few key tackles and interceptions and things in the first half, so whoever's come on from her's got big shoes to fill.
Well, it was Berry here for Kelburne trying to get it back for our side. Ralph down there harrying too, but there was Murray, the Glasgow Uni captain.
Yeah, again, Laura Murray, centre midfielder, but she's doing her shift back in that deep defensive area, because the last thing GU want right now is to lose a goal and make these last 10 minutes a bit more nerve-wracking than they need to be for them.
Gunda up there finds Jones through the deflection. Putting the pressure a bit by Berry.
Yeah, they want to keep coming to the space over here on this right hand side, but
turn from Grant. Jones. Walking again to beat away.
Great strength from Frankie. Just using her body to turn the GU player there, and ended up winning a foul. So the pressure's off, but again, Kelburne have only got, well, they've now got 3 players in their attacking half, and they're chasing goals, so they really need to start getting some height, really stretch this GU team out.
Jameson. Aitchison. First control, second control, and the save though. It's still in the stay in play here. She carries on the skill, looking for Murray's help, but there goes Berry.
Yeah, Laura Murray back again, doing her job in defence to win that ball back.
Jones. Off the foot there, off Georgia Coyle.
Carol, let's go.
Yeah, obviously advantage played by the umpire and a shot off, and the keeper will be glad to get her first save of the game logged. Thinking that clearance as well, Drew just wanted too much time on the ball. She knows what she's trying to do. She's trying to get that early release high up the pitch, but she just wanted too long to do it. So
Jones with the injection here. Under 10 minutes left now. Looking for further breathing space. Murray to Aitchison. Grant trying to collect, and they do get it away.
I think she was trying to go for a, obviously it was slipped to the left, she was trying to then put it back towards the penalty spot, but she just sort of double hooked it and ended up going straight to the Kelburne headside player.
Cara Bruce, good pass. Ralph, not so good. Up the other side, Grant was there waiting just in case, but they'll come out to Kelburne, but they're going to have to start again from deep. Cuthbertson. Gunda shadowing.
Yeah, they've won a long corner, but again, they're going to want to keep flooding players forward. They don't have time to be too safe. They obviously don't want to lose another goal, but they need to commit the resources forward in order to create the overload, because GU are such a defensive team to begin with that Kelburne are never finding themselves with enough players in attack to beat that.
Big cheer anyway for the Kelburne side. Quickly on with this with Berry.
Come on, Megan! Megan, get to the ball!
Just dribbles away down to the corner and out it goes though.
List from ball control, please go to reception. So list from ball control to reception, please.
Dalrymple. It reached the teammate and now the switch for Strain. Berry come off her foot, no they play on. Cuthbert's in. There was Murray.
It's fine. Forcing GU back is good enough in that case. Catherine's so strong on the ball, you're going to struggle to dispossess her when she's got the ball on the end of her stick. And again, the girl, I think it's Lucy Bliss, she's just working so hard up there. Every time the ball comes near her, she's really hassling those GU defenders.
There's Darcy Campbell back on for Kelburne, so they're a few minutes away. Back on, so clearly toes have been working on it. As Kelburne still looking for at least one back, they need to score pretty soon. Have a chance, and
Great
now
ball.
here's Ralph. It's a bit quick though, a bit rushed.
Yeah, it's so difficult in these closing minutes. You feel that you've got a chance, and you hear the crowd starting to pick up as well, and you just get a wee bit excited in that moment. But the ball through from Darcy Campbell initially was excellent, and they'll be glad to have her back on the pitch. Again, Kelburne are going to try and keep it in here, but
And they do get it back in the Glasgow Uni half.
yeah, they've
Campbell.
still got possession here, but again, it's just that wave after wave of GU defence, and just not quite enough in the store to counter that.
Kroll away from Bruce. Somehow trickled through. Trying to get something on it there was Robertson, not enough power towards goal. Gonda, far side. Robertson now across there too.
We'll do it when we get the ball, ideally. Maybe not.
Come on!
Clip back there. Jones' pass didn't really work out too well, but still with it. Stringer. Oh, and Kroll. Brilliant. It snuck itself in. And Heather Kroll has her second in that icing on the cake goal for number 3.
Yeah, Catherine, just here you see Catherine McLaughlin, and just it's inches from her making the block again. She's made so many this match, and then it ends up, I think, going through the goalkeeper's legs, but that's just a well taken wee flick by the GU player. Yeah. Maybe in hindsight the goalie would make herself a little bit bigger next time, but again I'm sure she'll be able to watch that again and learn from it, which is the most important thing, I suppose.
So final 3 minutes here. Glasgow University 3, Kelburne 0 in this plate final. As we build up towards the cup final at 4 o'clock, Edinburgh University and Dundee Wanderers. Perhaps build up yourself with the conversations on Twitter and whatever social media you're on. Hashtag Scottish Cup. It's been the method throughout the weekend.
Jenna! Jenna! When you can.
Rebecca, stay in the middle. Get there, Cara, get there.
Jenna Brawley down that side, but in there to try and interrupt the move is Aitchison, and she has won it back here. Aitchison. Then comes Jamieson. Aitchison. And two waiting to queue up. Leith and Grant still alive here. Lofted. Well, somehow, I don't know how they haven't scored, but they haven't scored, and they've cleared of Kelburne.
Yeah, I think initially they didn't score because the goalie actually works her angles really well. So the initial shot, if it had gone anywhere apart from as wide as it did, the goalkeeper would have had it covered. And then, you know, Kelburne just worked really hard to scramble after that. But obviously the disappointment for the goalie a couple of seconds ago, and she did really well there with her angles.
Well, two tired minds as well as bodies as Jamieson scoops back up. Goes direct through the middle. Bliss trying to just get it away for now. Final minute. Jones. Turn from Lucy Jamieson. Support down that side too. Leith. Into pirouette round. Back with Murray.
Well defended by, that's Georgia Coyle in there.
Oh, and there's the touch, is it? Second touch, third touch, and Corey Grant adds further gloss, number 4 with 30 to play.
Yeah, again, that's just the goalkeeper left with a wee surprise ball through, and they've just popped in behind. Kelburne's marking's gone to sleep, and you know, it's the goalkeeper that feels like she's done wrong there, but she's absolutely not. She makes the initial save, and then it's really difficult to get back up. And eventually the GU player manages to put the ball in the net for a fourth goal.
There's the hooter, and 2 years ago Glasgow University lost 4-0 in this plate final. Couple of goals, and they've won this plate final by 4 goals still against Kelburne. Perhaps a little extra, to say, gloss under that scoreboard towards the end, but they were the side on top for the most part. Kelburne couldn't really get enough clear-cut chances, and as I mentioned earlier in the game, Glasgow University in league games, sometimes it's one or two of the top teams have got results. They hang in there and they dig in there, and they're very hard to break down, and they managed to score 4 goals to boot, and they are the plate winners.
Yeah, I think it just was a tale of a more experienced team playing a style and standard of hockey that they're much more used to playing. Kelburne from the off had to really step it up today, and you know, a fantastic opportunity for a very young team, and they'll have lots of lessons to learn, and I think they can be very proud of the performance they put in, but I think it's a fair result for Glasgow Uni to come and win some silverware today.
So celebrations for them. We can have a little look through the action while we get set up for the presentation. It all started early on in the 7th minute with Bryce scoring the opener.
Yeah, we spoke about that at half time, but I think it's just obviously a mistake from the goalkeeper at the end, but I think it came from a bit of a domino effect. Players not quite awake to the game yet, and just, you know, obviously a slip there as well from Catherine, which I hadn't noticed before, but just not quite sharp enough in their marking and their tracking back, and they suffered for it. And then the second one, a nice little dink through, and again Emily was ready and made that decision, but it just turned out, unfortunately, the ball still snuck into the goal.
And then a couple of late goals in the second half when as I say, Kelburne were tiring.
Yeah, I think absolutely the defence just kind of switched off a wee bit, and the ball's going to pop in and around there. You need to be touch tight on your players in that D. You need to be goal side, so that if that does happen, they've still got to beat you. And then the goalkeeper just unfortunately went through her legs. And then this one for me didn't have to happen. They've just switched off, and again the ball just bobbles through. Goalkeeper makes a good save to begin with, but there's no help even arriving at that point. You know, they've sort of given up a wee bit at that. Just in that moment, they're watching the goalkeeper make a save, and they're watching, you know, the next shot come in. And it's easy to stand here and, you know, talk about it, but I think that's one of the big lessons that Kelburne will maybe learn is, you know, just their defensive marking in and around the D and pressure to the ball, and just staying awake in the game, staying alive in the game until the danger's definitely cleared and you're in clear possession of the ball.
A bit of a debrief going on there, but sure, praise as well as kind of the learning experience and all that for Kelburne. We've touched on the young sides. I mean, Glasgow Uni are a young side, because there is one or two, you know, Edinburgh University we'll see in the cup final. They do have one or two more experienced heads that have stuck around there, but Glasgow Uni is predominantly full of young players. You know, there's many people say obviously because they're a university team, but they've had a bit more of a growth over the last couple of years. Kelburne in this transitional kind of phase you're talking about, I think in the whole club, let alone just the women's side, and perhaps winning and getting momentum back in NL2 this year. They've got to the final of this competition, will build them up for hopefully a strong season next campaign for promotion.
Yeah, you'd like to hope so. It's important for a huge club like Kelburne. They deserve to be. The effort that gets put in from youth level right the way through, and they've got masters teams and all sorts going on at that club, and you know, that type of club should be playing at the top level, and it's hopefully they do get back to that stage in the next season or 2 or 3, because they'd put in the hard work to develop these players from age 4 or 5 years old, and there's a lot of those girls in that team that will have played at Kelburne for all their, you know, hockey playing days, and it would be really great to see them getting back into the top flight at some point. And then for GU, it's just a case for them how many players they retain. So obviously once these girls graduate, they don't have the opportunity to play for that team. It is a true university student team, and it'll be really interesting to see, you know, how well they can recruit as well, because they've now got a National 1 team. It's a real draw.
I guess you talk about the true university team. That makes it rather remarkable that they can be at this level. It shows how good they are as an outfit, that they can rotate players and players move on, and they're still kind of, you know, sometimes they've been in, you know, National League 2, they're kind of flip and flop between the two divisions, but at the moment a National League 1 club.
Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement actually for a team newly promoted as GU were this season. For them to have stayed in the top league for next season is an achievement in itself, and I think they would put a lot of that down to the coaching that they've had from Wendy Justice, who's just so experienced on and off the pitch, and she'll have instilled standards in the girls that, you know, have definitely stood them in good stead. And as I say, it'll be interesting to see how they continue to progress, you know, what new players they get, and if they can continue to keep that progress going next season.
Kelburne getting their silver medals. If you were to pick out a player for Kelburne that performed or was up there, who'd you pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't get away from Catherine McLaughlin. She was just, you know, a magnet to the ball 9 times out of 10 today, and she's threading some great passes through, and she leads by example. She gives 100% in every match that I think I've ever watched her play, and you know, she's definitely led that young team today.
And I guess the same question I'll ask for this Glasgow Uni side, a player of the match.
Again, it's more difficult for a team who've spent most of the game on the up, but I think their captain Laura Murray is just a bit of a standout performer. She's very skillful, very fit, but she also does as much work in attack as she does in defence. You saw her quite a few times clearing up any sort of scraps and what have you, making sure that the job was done to regain possession, and then was still part of the attack in the final third 2 seconds later. So I think she would deserve a man of the match.
Also plenty of credit for the likes of Heather Kroll, cut the goals, Bryce getting the goal, also Grant at the end. Good team performance That kept out Kelburne from any real chances, and they managed to get themselves 4 goals in the process. They've stuck around in the top tier of Scottish hockey for another season as well. And there we go, there is Laura Murray. And now the important bit of gear, the plate. Yeah, there's the big cheer. A couple of years after losing this final, they have got themselves the plate in their hands as they'll come and get their obligatory photo in front of the sign. Just before we wrap up, I guess it's been a great day so far. It's been great to have you with us, Susan. Just a quick thought on the cup final.
Well, another interesting game ahead. Yeah, it's obviously Edinburgh Uni have probably been more accustomed to winning trophies and leagues and such like the last few seasons, but Dundee Wanderers have absolutely shot up in terms of the quality they're playing at, and they've got some excellent young internationalists, and obviously Vicky Bunce is playing in there as well now, and she's just as experienced as they come, and I think it's going to be a very interesting game to see. I think there could be a lot of goals in the game. But equally, it could turn out to be a 1 goal in it kind of game. It just depends how the team's set up. But 2 deserved finalists, and I'm interested to see who wins.
And for Dundee Wanderers, perhaps a really good chance, because Edinburgh University have slightly creaky end of the season. They missed out in the grand finals in the semi-finals.
Yeah, I mean a blip, but Edinburgh Uni are and have been a strong team for a number of seasons now, and I think they'll be absolutely up for this game, and they've got the quality to win the game, and it's all about having the mental approach set up as well, and not getting nervous about the occasion. Yeah, they had a bit of a creaky, as you describe it, creaky finish to the season, but I don't think that'll have any bearing on what goes on today. I think their fitness and their just player for player across the board, they might have enough to come away with the win, but I'm sure many people will disagree with me, so I don't think it's an easy one to call.
Well, we'll see what happens on underway in about half an hour's time now. Great to get your thoughts, Susan. Thanks very much for this plate final, which has seen Glasgow University take the plate. We'll be back just before 4 o'clock for the Scottish Cup final, and Edinburgh University are up against Dundee Wanderers.